Just peaceful protesters. Just peaceful protesters. Imagine that this was a white gang going on a black cop. Just imagine.
By a crowd of people. Watch this. Can you believe that? That Jacksonville, Florida officer was trying to clear the crowd when he was thrown to the ground as anti-police rhetoric escalates, as you know, nationwide. Joining us right now, somebody who knows all about this, Jacksonville Fraternal Order of...
Yeah, fucking nonsense. But freaking, we don't want to hear about that, right? You know what? Let me just go through some fucking... the real crime here. Let me go through the real crime. Fucking... because I'm telling you, it doesn't seem like a lot of white people are committing a lot of the crimes these days.
I'm Ryan Hill. We're here live at the scene in Lodi where we've seen a heavy law enforcement presence. There's been plenty of officers out here donning assault rifles, and they've been redirecting traffic over here at this scene on Pine Street. This is right by the Caltrans Lodi Maintenance Center. When I got off of 99 heading to this spot where we are located, I did see other officers on the other side of Cherokee Lane blocking off traffic that way, not allowing people to come in and out, and also officers from the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office and also Highway Patrol also donning those heavy long rifles that we have seen during these types of situations. We are trying to find out more information about why law enforcement is here.
After a carjacking attempt in rural Stanislaus County, an 18-year-old woman in custody tonight suspected of pulling the trigger. CBS 13's Ryan Hill is in Wesley with the latest.
A guest here at the Executive Inn says that she called 911 after she heard two loud booms. Shortly after that, she got out of her room to see a woman lying on the ground and bleeding heavily.
There was a lot of police here, ambulance, fire trucks.
Cell phone video shows the scene Sherry Booth never thought she'd see with her own eyes.
I work in a hospital. Yes, I see dead people. But to have it happen within so many feet, I'm shocked.
After hearing two loud booms Saturday night, Booth called 911. She stepped outside to witness first responders arrive.
That girl went flying, the suspect this way, and the lady was down on the far part of the parking lot bleeding.
Investigators tell me that the victim was sitting in her car when the suspect
And now to developing news out of Suffolk. That's where police are investigating a shooting. It happened just after 3 this morning on Central Avenue. That's off of Finney Avenue. When officers arrived, they found two men shot. They were treated on the scene, and paramedics took them to a hospital. One man has already been released. Both are expected to be okay. We're going to learn more about the victims, and also the investigation is... And new tonight, we're learning from neighbors about an early morning shooting in Norfolk. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Kayla Gaskins. This happened around 10:30 this morning on Rogers Avenue. That's near Naval Station, Norfolk. Paramedics rushed one man to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. The investigation is still going on. Senator Side's John Dowding spoke with neighbors about how they're reacting to the incident. John.
Kayla, neighbors say they're shocked and surprised because this neighborhood tends to be pretty quiet and everyone tends to know each other. Now, an eyewitness who asked to speak with us off camera to protect his safety says he was one of the first people to run over to the victim after he was shot. Now, the neighbor says two people in hoods and masks came up to a silver truck parked in a driveway from opposite sides of the street. One of them leaned into the driver's side of the truck and began to struggle with the victim.
Seems like a little fucking... It seems like a drug deal. It seems like freaking dude was set up. That's what it seems like. I don't think they were white, though.
Hillsborough deputies say a man shot at them when they showed up for a welfare check on a child. Hillsborough deputies stopped by this home on Country Brook Street in the Northdale area when they heard gunfire. A deputy's vehicle was hit by a bullet, but no deputies were hurt. Despite being shot at, deputies did not return fire. Neighbors, meanwhile, say they are shocked to hear something like this happened so close to home.
Well, we have a very safe neighborhood. We've been here for 9 years and nothing like this ever happened. Nothing.
After a brief standoff, deputies made contact with the juvenile and then arrested the suspect. There were also concerns about possible explosives at the home, but the bomb disposal team found nothing suspicious.
On July 1st,
Area man is locked up tonight, accused of a deadly crash involving a pedestrian. And what he's accused of doing next is truly horrific. 8 on your side's Olivia Steen starts us off tonight and
White people.
explains how a plan to cover up this crime quickly fell apart.
Well, we're told the suspect is 28-year-old Joseph Strickland. A worker at this bait shop behind me told me that he dumped the person's body over their fence. Now, Florida Highway Patrol troopers say they also found one of the pedestrian's limbs out here around the ground. People living along Cortez Boulevard tell me the road was blocked off for hours Sunday morning as detectives investigated a very gory series of events. Florida Highway Patrol says this man, Joseph Strickland, hit a person walking on Cortez Boulevard in the early hours of Sunday morning. Troopers say with the victim's remains still on his vehicle, Strickland drove here to Easton Street and dumped the body behind Dixie Lee.
So he was on the influence of bringing something. And hey, for your white people, I got him.
Tampa police are trying to figure out how a man died overnight. It happened along East Sitka Street. Officers found the man's body just before 3 a.m. this morning, and tonight they are hoping someone will call Crime Stoppers.
We begin tonight in Richland County, where a shooting took the life of a 19-year-old man. It happened just after midnight in the 1000 block of Lawhorn Road near Blythewood. Deputies say the man was at a party there when he was shot in the upper body. Investigators have not yet released a motive in this case. Anyone with information on this situation is asked to call Crime Stoppers, 1-888-CRIME-SC.
Wild scene played out at a banquet hall in Pinellas Park early this morning. Investigators say someone intentionally ran over 2 people during a fight. They say Roberto Doth drove into a crowd at Banquet Masters on 49th Street, hitting 2 people, one of them a 10-year-old, then put the car in reverse and hit them again, according to...
When advanced security protects all your...
Possible chaos tonight at Washington Square Park. A clash over...
Hold on. I hope I got this. I might be repeating myself here, because I think I might have accidentally...
Police may be bracing for more possible chaos tonight at Washington Square Park. A clash over a new curfew last night led to nearly 24 arrests. CBS 2's Corey James is live outside the park with more. Corey?
And Hazel, we're talking some very intense, some very heated moments as officers who were assigned to close down Washington Square Park at 10 o'clock. The new curfew were then met with parkgoers who were upset and didn't want to leave. This all caught on video, though. Let's get...
There are parkgoers who were upset and didn't want to leave. So they were breaking the law, unlawfully assembling in a public space. You know, it's actually owned by the city, but it's public space. And while just imagine it was a bunch of white people playing beer pong and freaking cornhole or whatever the hell it is. This should be a fucking insurrection, be all over the news.
Right to that footage, you can see it was pure chaos when police tried closing down this popular spot. Some of the people out here pushing back and fighting with them. Now, the decision to close the park 2 hours early was made last weekend after repeated complaints of large parties. Closing down this popular spot, some of the people out here pushing back and fighting with them. Now, the decision...
And pay attention to this big money man. This big money man.
To close the park 2 hours early was made last weekend after repeated complaints of...
Freaking... What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Oh, yeah, what you gonna do? Yeah. I'm a thug, what you gonna do? We're out here, what you gonna do, white boy? What you gonna do? See? There is no respect for authority, and it's, and honestly, it's a hard, this is a fine line, because, I really, authority has been a fucking pain in the ass, there's a certain point that we need them. However, we can't go around acting like a bunch of, freaking inbred assholes.
Large parties, disorderly behavior, and violent groups at the park at all hours of the night. And authorities say there was
Notice how it's the white people that were leaving?
behavior and violent groups at the park at all hours of the night. And authorities say there was also an incident where first responders had bottles thrown at their vehicles. We spoke to people who tell us this is a public space and they feel there should not be a curfew, while others who live in the area disagree.
There's women giving sexual favors for drugs with a long line of men in the middle of the night. There's ATVs, four-wheelers, motorcycles driving through the park. And there's a rave with amplified music. It's dangerous.
There's way too much policing around open spaces. I don't think policing the parks is going to solve the problems.
And 23 people were arrested last night, some of them facing charges like assault, obstructing government administration, and resisting arrest. Meantime, the NYPD has said there will be increased police presence when putting out those barricades and closing down the park. Again, that curfew is set for 10 o'clock on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Yeah, and, well, hey, New York, what'd you do about it now? What'd you do about it now?
I was really worried.
Tonight over a new curfew at Washington Square Park. Police have stepped up security after violent clashes last night when the park was closing. CBS 2's Corey James is there now where the curfew doesn't appear to be in effect. Corey?
Yeah, Hazel, the big question right now is what happened to that curfew that was put in place by the city's Parks Department, along with the police department as well. A 10 o'clock curfew, 2 hours earlier than when the park has closed in the past. But as you can see right now, lots of folks are out here at the park on the other side of these barricades, lining the perimeter of the park. Hundreds of people. There's music being played. And this, again, was supposed to close at 10 this evening. But some people questioning if this is why. Take a look at this video. This is what happened last night. Here you can see some of those intense and heated moments as officers tried to get a large crowd of people out of the park. Video even showing parkgoers fighting back while police forcefully tried to get them out. And you can also hear bottles being thrown as well. The violent clash resulted in 23 arrests. Some neighbors feel because of this, because of what happened yesterday, police are backing down tonight.
They're not closing it at all.
They're probably not fucking doing anything because what the fuck can they do? All those people that were freaking arrested were released on bail because you know what? They're part of Black Lives Matter, and Black Lives Matter, freaking all those donations goes to paying off the bails of these freaking hardened thugs that become freaking political leaders.
I think they're getting a lot of blowback. It's scary going in there.
Does it bother you that it's not being closed right now?
Yes, it bothers everybody.
There's way too much policing around open spaces. I don't think policing the parks is going to solve the problems.
And 8 officers.
Well, what is? I mean, obviously you can't solve your problems. That's why you keep on shaving your head. And if we're going to have this identity crisis.
Suffered minor injuries last night. We reached out to police this evening to see what enforcement was going to take place tonight, if any at all. But the only thing was said to us was that they have officers out here at the park. We also tried to get answers from the Parks Department. So far, we have not heard back. But back here live again, you can see
a lot of white people out there, huh? Just a lot of white people. So many white people. You know, it's... So, yeah, fucking, give me a fucking strike, YouTube. I don't fucking care.